How's it going, everyone? My name is Maximilian, and do you feel that hype flowing through your veins? Because Nemesis and Doctor Strange have been released, and this is the latest episode of Maximilian's Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 character breakdown. So before we move on to the two characters in our main event, there were small elements that were released during the gameplay trailer for the latest Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 build, showing off several special moves for the existing cast. Let's recap these moves really quick before we get started. Wolverine's getting it on with some of that new Swiss cheese. Aw, girl, you like that Swiss cheese. Yeah, Wolverine, I think she's dead. Wolverine, I think she's dead. Also the return of Chun-Li's extremely invincible EX spinning bird kick from Street Fighter 4 and Third Strike. And is that a friggin' lamppost? Girl, you're destroying public property. While Morrigan's new fireball breaks barriers and sucks meter from the opponent. Then it looks like Sea Viper's picking up some moves from Cyclops along the way. And could it be that Hulk gets an unblockable charge punch? Who knows? And as you probably already saw, the two new confirmed stages are the Umbrella Destroyed Facility and the daytime version of the S.H.I.E.L.D. Helicarrier. Now, let's move on to the newest confirmed characters. Doctor Strange is a character that appears to have an amazing amount of potential at first glance, with specials that include flight, multiple projectiles, teleports, status elements, and small traps or glyphs that remain on the screen for a great period of time. There's a few situations where projectiles actually bounce off these glyphs. I can only imagine the combo video possibility Doctor Strange has. His supers look pretty effective too, one being a pillar move that actually hits off the ground and you're able to cancel it in the air as well. He's also got an extremely effective looking beam super with a lot of invincibility. But if you look closely, this actually looks like a projectile counter super, so it could mean that beam and projectile based characters are going to have a tough time going against Doctor Strange. And of course, a rather awesome looking level 3 super meant for the middle of combos. So if we take all these factors into account, and we look at this gameplay, my initial assumption is that Doctor Strange is going to be the character that Phoenix players revert to when Ultimate Marvel 3 comes out. He still appears to have very low health, but the amount of options he contains with those teleports, several moves that cause a crumpled knockdown state, and adding in those glyph special moves that can also trap the opponent, yeah, Doctor Strange looks like no joke. Just as an example, check out this one situation where a glyph travels far off screen. The glyphs have different colors and appears they have different attributes because one is bounced off and the other one directs a beam towards Dante that causes a crumple stun state. And can you imagine if he teleported above you when all that stuff is happening? It seems pretty insane. Like I was saying before, his only downside really seems to be his health, which I'm going to take a rough estimate to be somewhere around 800,000. Based off all this information and speculation, I think it's fair to say we're going to be seeing a lot of this character when Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 comes out. Things are about to get rather strange, everyone.
By the holy hosts of Hagen, Hyper Combo KO!
And of course, next up is one of the largest characters in the entire cast next to Sentinel. It's the Tyrant-type version of Nemesis. So do you remember a few videos ago where I was saying how Ghost Rider severely reminds me of Omega Red? I think I'm going to take that back because Nemesis reminds me of him even more with a little bit of Sentinel and Hulk spice thrown in. And even though he doesn't resemble the character in any way, Nemesis reminds me a lot of Q from Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. They're both tall, extremely upright characters that just chuck their weight at things to get around. One of the first things you might be noticing is that Nemesis has several long-reaching normal moves similar to Ghost Rider. There's also a rocket launcher special that can be done from the air or the ground, command grabs where he whips you down with his dirty-ass tentacles and he can combo afterwards, a fairly decent amount of health, and a ground bounce that's creepily familiar to Hulk and Sentinel. However, his most glaring weakness initially is his size. The character is gigantic, and the amount of mix-up potential is ridiculous for the opposition. It looks like Nemesis is definitely going to need assists to be effective. There's also a rocket launcher super that OTGs, a level 3 absolutely disgusting command grab. God, that's so disgusting. Along with a crazy level 1 hyper that has a ridiculous amount of super armor. I'm sure you guys are all thinking the same thing when you see this move. Oh, you want a super? Well, Nemesis don't give a f***. He doesn't seem like an extremely complicated or difficult character to figure out like Doctor Strange. But I guess that kind of fits the Nemesis character in general. The dude would just throw his weight around and kill anything in his path. And did I mention how completely f***ing gross this level 3 looks? I mean, what the hell do you think if something like that's happening to you? I was a little disappointed when I first saw the gameplay trailer for Nemesis. But when the other full match videos debuted with 3 separate matches showing Nemesis gameplay in full, I actually got kind of excited. He seems like a lot more fun than I initially thought. The debut of Nemesis and Doctor Strange get a 9 out of 10 on my personal hype meter. Thanks for watching, everyone, and be sure to check out my previous videos covering gameplay of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 from Evolution 2011. So until the next character trailer is released, I'll see you later.